welcome back to Ranger Life. So in this video I'm gonna be starting swapping the components over from the Ranger block to the Fusion block, and I decided that I'm gonna start with easy stuff. You know, I could probably do, technically I should probably do the oil pan and the oil pickup and the balance shaft delete first, just because that's, you know, once that's buttoned up, don't have to do it, you know, look at it again. But thought I would start with easy and then work towards hard. The sensor on the Fusion block broke, so I'm gonna swap that with the Ranger sensor over here. So maybe clean that up a little bit and swap that. Let's actually, while we're here, let's make sure that the oil filter works. So this is the oil filter for the Ranger, and let's make sure that it threads on to the Fusion oil filter housing. Yeah, perfect. So I think the Fusion uses a different kind of filter. This is definitely not, I don't think this is the same model number. It might be actually FL910S. I think maybe the Ranger is just the 910 without the S, because this is definitely shorter as an oil filter. It doesn't, not that it matters that much. I don't think it really matters. Oil filters are kind of oil filters, but it's good to know that the Ranger filter actually works on the Fusion oil housing. I think these are all kind of the same between the Ford models. So since this sensor is broken off here during shipping or whatever from the engine, the junkyard, I'm gonna try to remove this guy and stick it on there, and hopefully it'll work. Oh man, it's so windy. But yeah, got the sensor in. We got that bracket thing off. I think I'm gonna have to remove some of these plastic things here, so we can utilize those for the threads, because I think I need them. The other problem I ran into is that this thing here, the nozzle for this connector right here, is different from the Ranger's connector. I actually took it off of the Ranger. It's the same part basically, but you can see here the little elbow, the mouth of it is a lot wider, and so the existing tubing doesn't fit on the Fusion tubing. This one's a lot newer and shinier, you know, so ideally I'd like to use this. And I looked into just swapping this this plastic piece out, this elbow piece, but it seems like once you snap this part in, it's not removable. I don't really see a way to remove it. I actually removed this off the block to see if I could get this cap thing off and just swap, you know, these parts right here. But yeah, I don't see a way of doing that, because these aren't, you can't depress them. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean this guy up, because this one's still good. Like, the gasket looks good. There was no RTV or anything on it. So I don't think I have to reseal anything. And this was working fine on the truck. So I'm just gonna clean this guy up and replace this piece here with this guy, and just reuse the old tubing. The old tubing had probably seen better days. I should probably replace some of the tubing here. This is the piece. So this would go here, as you can see. It's just loose. It's too big to fit. So I guess I could buy new tubing that's a little skinnier, and then like adapt it to work. But it's really just these two pieces that are tubes, and then the rest of it's like a plastic snake piece kind of thing. So this long piece here in the middle is like a plastic piece, and then these parts at the end are rubber hoses. Alright, so I don't know where I left off at, I don't remember, but there was a line here that went into this hole right here, which is this fitting right here, right? So that would go there, but as you can see, there's already kind of a pipe in there, and I undid this, but this pipe is still in there, so I think I need to pull this out. So I ended up taking off whatever this thing is. It might be an idle air control valve, maybe? I don't know for sure. But I ended up taking that off, and then I also ended up taking off that plastic thing for the coolant hose, because this is definitely need to be replaced, because the main coolant hose on this one goes to the left, and on the Ranger it obviously goes to the right. So I also took off the same valve or whatever it is on the Ranger, and I'm comparing them. This one, the Ranger valve, is this one, and the Fusion one is this one. Obviously, really the only difference is that the this line is turned down, and then the pigtail or the connector is clocked 90 degrees. So I'm wondering if I can take this apart and just clock this, you know, 90 degrees the other way, and then pretty much I thought about swapping the what do you call it, the pipes coming out, but I think I might just bend them back, so sort of bend this sort of straight, because it's bent into a 90. So if I kind of unbend it and not break it, obviously, then it'll turn into a straight, right? And if I clock that, then this is a much newer valve thingy here, as you can see, right? This one has 200,000 miles on it, this one has 40,000 miles on it. I mean, this looks brand new. No, yeah, it was actually really easy. Just a couple taps of vice grips and a hammer, and it just popped right out. So not that big of a deal. This is trash now, basically. Go ahead and put this guy in. Alright, so, you know, quick torch on that tube, and then just taking a pair of vice grips and some pliers and just, you know, bending it. Obviously it's not 100% straight, but, you know, I think it's good enough where the flow is not blocked, and hopefully it doesn't leak from here. And I also cut myself, I'm bleeding while I was doing it, trying to get the hose off. Not a big deal. But yeah, that's pretty much clocked in the same direction as this. This is just a straight tube out. This one, for whatever reason on the Fusion, was a 90 degree bend down, but this is kind of the same direction, and it actually moves the tube a little bit further outboard, which I think will help clear some of this junk here. But that should be good. Hopefully it just doesn't leak from here from bending it. But I didn't really use that much force because it was heated up pretty nicely. So then I need to transfer this guy over, so I'll be doing that next. Alright, well, there it is. Move the coolant, whatever arm thingy over. I just reused the gasket, even though I should probably replace it. But you know, whatever. This is a budget build, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Honestly, a lot of these tube or hoses probably need to be replaced. They're all pretty hard, and they're not very rubbery at all anymore. But besides the engine mounts, which I'll do next, that's pretty much all the easy stuff. All the different tubes and hoses and crap are all transferred over. Alright, well, the engine mounts are on. Both sides. I cleaned them up as much as I could. They're not greasy and oily anymore, but there's a lot of surface rust, as you can see. So there was just kind of, it wasn't worth it to grind that down to bare metal and to paint it. I mean, it's just surface rust. It's fine. That's pretty much going to be it for this episode. Did all the easy stuff, transfer over. Next episode, you'll see me tackle some of the harder stuff. I'll probably start with the oil filter, the oil pan and the oil pickup tube in the next video. And yeah, thanks for watching.